I worked the night shift for a sleep support hotline 3 years ago. At first, I thought it was just another depressing customer service job. Insomniacs. Lonely people. Night workers. People who just needed someone to talk to before they fell asleep. But there was one rule they repeated during training. A rule they treated way too seriously. Never keep a caller on the line longer than 7 minutes. No explanation. No exceptions. If a call reached 7 minutes, we were told to disconnect immediately. I thought it was corporate nonsense. Until the calls started mentioning the hallway. The office was on the 4th floor of an old medical building outside Cleveland. Half the lights never worked. The hallways smelled like dust and wet carpet. There were only 3 employees on the night shift. Me. A guy named Trevor. And our supervisor, Denise. Denise looked exhausted all the time. Like she hadn't slept in years. Every night before clocking in, she reminded us. 7 minutes. Don't ignore it. The hotline itself was simple. People called because they were afraid to sleep. Some had anxiety. Others had nightmares. Most just wanted to hear another human voice. The first week was normal. Then came the woman. Part 2, the first strange call. Soft telephone ringing. It was around 2:30 in the morning. I answered like usual. Sleep support hotline. This is Daniel speaking. There was silence. Then quiet breathing. A woman whispered. If I fall asleep, he'll stand beside my bed again. I froze for a second. I asked if she was having night terrors. She ignored the question. He gets closer every night. In the background, I heard something. A slow creaking sound. Like wooden floorboards. I asked if someone was in her house. She whispered. Don't let me fall asleep. The call timer hit 6 minutes. Then 6:30. I remembered Denise's rule. So I apologized and disconnected. Immediately. The office phone rang again. Same number. I answered. The woman sounded terrified now. Why did you do that? I told her company policy required. Then she interrupted me. Sobbing. He heard the click. The line went dead. After that night, the calls became stranger. A man called asking, how long can a person stay awake before they start seeing them? I asked who he meant. He said, the hallway people. Another caller described a long corridor with stained yellow walls. Another mentioned flickering lights. Another talked about a red door at the end of the hallway. None of them described it exactly the same. But it was always close. Always similar. And every caller sounded genuinely terrified. Not crazy. Terrified. Then Trevor finally told me the truth. Or at least part of it. He said this building used to be connected to a sleep research program in the 90s. Officially, the program shut down after funding cuts. Unofficially, people died. Sleep deprivation experiments. Isolation tests. Subjects kept awake for days. Trevor said the hotline number used to belong to the research department. I laughed at first. Until he showed me the basement door. Painted red. The next night, curiosity got the better of me. Around 3 a.m., I used my employee keycard and went downstairs. The basement lights barely worked. The air smelled metallic. Like old pipes and rust. At the end of the hallway. There it was. The red door. Exactly like the callers described. That's impossible. Nobody outside the building should have known it existed. My phone suddenly vibrated. Unknown number. I answered. Static. Then a voice whispered. Don't open it. It sounded like Denise. I turned around. Nobody there. When I looked back at the door, I noticed scratch marks around the handle. Deep ones. Like fingernails. Then I heard movement behind the door. Slow shuffling. And breathing. Not one person. Several. I ran upstairs. And Denise was waiting for me. Angry. Terrified. She grabbed my arm and said, "Did you open it?" I told her no. She looked relieved for about half a second. Then the phone started ringing. Every single line at once. There were 6 phones in the office. All ringing together. None of us moved. Trevor looked pale. Denise quietly said, "It's happening earlier now." One by one, the ringing stopped. Until only my phone was left. 3:14 a.m. I answered. Silence. Then, my own voice spoke. "Don't look behind you." Every hair on my body stood up. The voice continued. "If you see them directly, they stay awake with you." I couldn't breathe. Slowly, I looked at the dark reflection on my computer monitor. There was someone standing behind me. Tall. Thin. Its arms hung too long. Its face looked blurred. Like something unfinished. And behind it, more shapes appeared in the reflection. Standing silently around the office. Watching. Then the voice on the phone whispered, "You kept the calls going too long." The lights went out. When power returned, Denise was gone. So was Trevor. No police report was ever filed. The company shut down 2 weeks later. The building was abandoned. At least officially. But sometimes, Around 3:14 in the morning. I still get calls from unknown numbers. And every voicemail sounds the same. Heavy breathing. Static. And a voice whispering. We found the red door. Last night, for the first time, I heard knocking behind my bedroom wall,